So on day 37 of quarantine, getting pretty bored in here, so I just figured gotta entertain myself somehow. So this is gonna be my first weekly, daily, monthly, or first and only installment of James's beer reviews. So we're gonna start this off right by first off seeing what kind of beer I've got in the fridge. So let's see what we got in here. So we got pickles, yogurt. Here we go. So, boom, we got Miller High Life. Some people would say this is a cheap beer, but fun fact, it's actually craft. Sources in the description, as always. So yeah, starting off, we're here in my nasty ass kitchen. Got my High Life. First off, the display, beautifully packaged, just gold, obviously. High Life is gold. Even though it's called the High Life, fun fact is you can get just one of these bottles for like $1.15. It's crazy. It's almost false marketing, honestly. Like, this should be like a $5 bottle in all realism. But anyway, we got our High Life here. One thing that is disappointing is the fact that it is a twist off, but that's the thing. Like, High Life tries to do two things here. They try to be a High Life beer, right? So kind of for that upper class people, that like I'm better than you crowd, but at the same time they're working man's beer. So that's just where you kind of draw there's that compromise there for those more bourgeois crowd who they've got soft hands, and they can't really work that lever. Twist off's the option, but you still look like a common folk drinking the beer, which is pretty awesome. So I'm able to pose as both at the same time and really just kind of slip into whatever persona that I think is really like fitting my personality in that exact moment. So we're gonna start with the first sip here. Good, yeah. Before, most people would say like, hey, if you do a beer review, like, you should learn the terminology as to like, how do you review a beer? But I lived in Milwaukee, and the big thing about living in Milwaukee is you just drink enough beer until you realize what a good beer is and a bad beer is. This is a good beer. High Life's especially tastes really good after a long day's work. And like I said, you could be kind of like a pansy ass stockbroker, or like a badass who digging trenches, and the High Life's going to taste pretty good either way. So that's a plus. The other good thing about the first sip is you really want to take a second. And that's truly your mark of a good beer, is do you want a second sip? And I can say I definitely want a second. Definitely mark of a good beer is you go for a second beer. It's a Saturday night, but the nice thing is it's a High Life. It's for the working class, so or whatever. It could be a Tuesday and whatever. Have one, have two, have six, whatever. It's a High Life. It's for everybody at any time, everywhere. So yeah, that's awesome. That's the awesome part of High Life. Just decided I'd name off some really famous High Life drinkers. God bless. So moving on to the final section of our review here of Miller High Life. I've got a few really famous High Life drinkers that I want to share with you guys. These are all true, sources in the description. Eleanor Roosevelt, famously a High Life drinker. Gandhi, they said that guy could live off a drop of dew a month, all right? Here's the thing, the dew was High Life. One High Life a month, that's all it took, and he freed India. That's awesome. Reagan, he was a High Life drinker. Back to presidential High Life drinkers. Obama, also High Life drinker. So, bringing the parties together there. Thank you, Miller High Life. Shia LaBeouf, that's cool. Nick Offerman, he's hilarious, absolutely a working man. You want to build shelves like him, you can't, but you can get close to it with the High Life. Nancy Kerrigan, Olympic figure skater, we all want that. And then obviously famous astrophysicist and first female astronaut, Sally Ride. Sally Ride, she was a High Life drinker. Think how crazy that is. So anyway, this is a great beer for great people. On my my rating scale here, I'm gonna say that Miller High Life, 6 stars. Obviously, this is a 6-star rating system. Why not 5? Well, screw you, it's not your show. All right. So cheers to Miller High Life.